The Toyota Prius, the car that basically invented the phrase fuel efficient in the minds of an entire generation, gets around 57 inches the city. This engine nearly doubles it. It doubles the Prius. The most famous fuel sipper on the planet doubled. And here's the part that should make Detroit's stomach drop. The company that did it isn't Toyota, it isn't Honda, it isn't Ford, it isn't General Motors. It's a Chinese company called Geely. And if you've never heard that name in your life, good. That's exactly the point. Because by the end of this video, you will never forget it. If this is the kind of story that grabs you, the shift that nobody notices until it's already too late to catch up, hit that like button and subscribe right now. Because here's what makes this one almost impossible to believe. The man who built this company started with $3,000 and a factory making refrigerator parts. The engine he ended up building does something Formula One engineers have burned billions of dollars chasing and still can't fully crack. And this technology, the record-breaking part, is already heading into cars sold in Europe and America, wearing badges you recognize, sitting in dealerships you drive past every single week. By the time this is over, you'll understand why every major automaker on Earth is quietly, nervously watching this man's next move right now. Today, let's go back to where it starts. A small farming village in Jiang Province, China. That's where Li Shufu was born. The son of a farmer in a place where nobody was dreaming about car engines or world records. Nobody was dreaming about much of anything. In 1986, he borrowed roughly $3,000 from his family and opened a tiny factory. Nothing glamorous. He made parts for refrigerators. Small, functional, forgettable work. But he was obsessed with building things, and he had one quality, one that would define everything that came after. He refused to stop. By 1994, he'd clawed his way into motorcycles. Then, in 1997, he made the announcement that made an entire industry laugh out loud. He said he was going to build cars, no experience, no factory built for it, no engineering pedigree, no major investors, no industry connections, nothing. And when reporters pressed him, asked him how hard building a car actually is, he reportedly just shrugged it off. A car, he said, is just 4 wheels and 2 couches. The insiders shook their heads. They laughed. They moved on. Li Shu did not move on. In 2001, his company Geely became the first private Chinese company ever licensed to manufacture automobiles in China. A historic milestone all on its own. But he was just getting warmed up. In 2007, he wrote a letter to Ford Motor Company, offered to buy Volvo. Ford ignored him completely. Didn't even bother with a real answer. So, he showed up at the Detroit Auto Show in 2008 and tried again in person. This time, Ford brushed him off again, waved him along, and here's where the quality that defines him turns into something dangerous. He came back in 2009, more prepared, more serious. And in 2010, the farmer's son from Jiang Province walked out of Ford's own headquarters with Volvo in his pocket, $1.8 billion in cash. Let that land. Volvo was a European institution. Decades of prestige, safety, engineering pride. And a Chinese company that Detroit couldn't be bothered to answer just bought it outright. The people who laughed didn't just lose the argument. They handed him the keys. And he still didn't stop. In 2018, he bought nearly 10% of Daimler, the company that owns Mercedes-Benz, making him the single largest individual shareholder in one of the most iconic luxury brands on the planet. Think about the arc of that. The kid from the farming village, the one who got laughed at for saying he could build a car, became the biggest shareholder in Mercedes-Benz. Today, Geely owns Volvo, Polestar, Lotus, Link, and Company, and a whole portfolio of brands spread across multiple continents. The hustle is real. The empire is real. And that same relentless engineering ambition is exactly what produced the engine we're about to talk about. But to understand why this engine is a bomb going off, you have to understand the problem it just solved. Because everyone told us the answer was already here. Electric cars were supposed to be the clean, simple, obvious solution to everything. And look, in a lot of ways, the technology is genuinely exciting. Nobody's denying that. But living with one day-to-day in the real world turned out to be a lot more complicated than the commercials ever admitted. And the cracks have been showing for a while now. Start with charging. The ad makes it look effortless. You pull up, you plug in, you're done. The reality on an actual road trip is that even the best fast chargers available today still means sitting and waiting 20 to 40 minutes just to crawl back up to 80%. That's not a gas station stop. That's a full meal. That's an episode of something, a minor annoyance on a solo drive that becomes a genuine nightmare with two kids screaming in the back seat and a schedule you're already late for. Then there's cold weather, which somehow never makes it into the brochure. EV batteries are sensitive to low temperatures, and when it drops below freezing, most electric vehicles lose somewhere between 30 and 40% of their advertised range. So, the 300-mile range you paid $60,000 for on a cold January morning in Michigan, it's 180. The math turns on you fast and it doesn't turn back. And the battery itself degrades over time, just like the one in your phone. And when it finally needs replacing, the bill can land anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 or more. That's not a repair. That's a number that can wipe out years of fuel savings in a single afternoon at the dealership. Now stack on the bigger picture that almost never makes the ad. For years, that was the summit of human achievement in a mass-reduced engine. Jelly hit 48.4%, 4%, and Guinness World Records came in, ran the test themselves, and certified it. The highest thermal efficiency ever recorded for a mass-reduced car engine in the history of the automobile. Period. Full stop. Now, here's the comparison that's almost hard to process. Formula One engines. The most advanced, most obsessively engineered, most expensively refined internal combustion machines human beings have ever built. Machines that entire teams of geniuses pour hundreds of millions of dollars into, chasing fractions of a percent year over year. Those engines run at around 50% thermal efficiency. Geely's production engine, the one that goes into a car a normal family can buy and finance and drive to Costco, is now within 2 percentage points of a Formula One engine. Let that sink in. That's not impressive. That's a different category of achievement entirely, one that continuously monitors driving conditions and adjusts in real time exactly how the engine and the motor share the workload. Every drop of fuel used with a precision that simply wasn't possible before. Then they took the car, the J Galaxy M8, a full-size grand sedan, not some stripped-out science project, to a closed circuit in Hainan, China, and ran it through a standardized efficiency test. Now, I want to hear from you. If a hybrid could get you 106 mpg, no charging, no range anxiety, no $10,000 battery, would that change your mind about going fully electric? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm reading them.